Now, I've had plenty of fun with the mouse. It is a fantastic, super heavy tank, although this machine is a bit too slow for my taste. I'm mostly driving the medium tanks, light tanks, even tank destroyers. Now, one of the tanks within this platoon is the Turm 3, and I got interested in this thing when I saw that it is really fast, although this tank has a very big drawback. It has basically no armor. So let's take a look at the characteristics. So it has a 105mm main gun. Its main gun is really good. I would say it might be a bit better than the main gun on the Leopard, although I would say that it has the same gun. So that's kind of interesting. It has a fantastic top speed of 65 km per hour, reverse 25 km per hour, specific power is 20 horsepower per ton. It has 43 tons, 3 crew members. This is a autoloader. Its ammo is stored on the right side of the turret, and basically, as you're about to see here, it has absolutely no armor. 302mm is the average penetration, reload 6.7 seconds, which is really good. Turret to target speed is 24 degrees per second, which is really fast. Frontal protection, well, as you have already guessed, it has basically no armor. This might very well be one of the thinnest tanks in the game, and when I say thinnest, one of the most lightly armored vehicles in the game. You cannot afford to take a hit from anything. Even machine guns, 50 cal, 7.2mm, 7.62mm, 12.8mm, penetrate the armor on this thing, and they can set off the ammo or basically kill the crew. This tank really cannot afford to get hit by anything. It has literally no armor. Now it has a machine gun on the right side next to the turret, and this machine gun is no joke. It is probably the longest barreled machine gun that we have seen so far, and it has decent penetrating capabilities, although the main gun is basically the main weapon on the Turm 3. So with that being said, let's see what this thing can do. Now the Turm 3 does play very similar to the Leopard, although there is a very big difference between the two vehicles. The Leopard has some armor. The Leopard in some cases can actually bounce a hit or two. This thing on the other hand can't bounce anything. This is basically the definition of a glass cannon. This tank has absolutely no armor. However, it has speed and it has maneuverability as well as a fantastic main gun. Now it uses APDS and HE8TFS, which is basically an advanced version of heat ammo, although I usually rely on APDS ammo on most of my tanks, but the heat ammo on this thing is also really good. I actually really enjoyed using the heat ammo on the Turm 3, and I actually ran out of ammunition very quickly on this tank. It has a fantastic reload. Now this tank is definitely not a low profile vehicle. It is huge. This tank is tall, it's huge, and usually it is a pretty easy target, so you really have to know where to position yourself if you want to maximize its survivability. Definitely not a vehicle that should be in the open. I mean, any splash damage, any artillery shell that lands close to you will basically do damage, since this tank has absolutely no armor. Its turret is basically, well, it's a tin can in the exact meaning of that word, because the ammo, it's very easy to pop the ammo on this thing. Its ammo is basically in the turret on the right side, and any shell that's going in basically will detonate the ammo. Even a machine gun can do this. And now speaking of machine guns, this thing's machine gun is awesome. It can actually penetrate the side armor of some medium tanks. It is not only limited to blowing up ASP, AAs and lightly armored vehicles. This machine gun can actually do some serious damage to to some medium tanks from the sides, and overall I would say this might be perhaps the most powerful machine gun that we have on any medium tank in the game at the moment. And unfortunately, the ammo of the machine gun is also stored very close to the ammo of the main gun. So, if you're unlucky enough, you can actually get ammo racked if the machine gun ammo gets hit. So, this vehicle is overall very weird and definitely does have a learning curve to it. It is not a easy to drive vehicle. It has definitely a learning curve to it that you have to get used to the tank. It plays very similar to the Leopard, but I would say the Leopard might be easier to play than this thing. Now the thing that's making this tank so awesome is its main gun. The main gun is really good. I really have enjoyed using it since it basically penetrates everything. It has no issues with penetration. It has also no issues with reload. It's a really fast reloading cannon. And its high explosive shells can overpressure some of the enemy vehicles. Now in this case I am trying to overpressure this main battle tank, but it's not working because of the angle, and I'm using heat, so yeah, that's definitely not good to overpressure this tank, but you know, I can try, and eventually I managed to nail the M60A1. Was a good hit. Now the fast reload means that you may run out of ammo very quickly, so you have to make every shot count, or well, you can just put a lot of ammo in this thing and basically just spit bullets. And honestly, if you manage to position the tank in a very good tactical spot, it is basically unstoppable because its maneuverability is unmatched, and it basically just shreds everything. Now, I wouldn't really recommend fighting tanks head on. I would say wait for the enemy tanks to look at your teammate. Basically, you basically don't want to get hit by anything, and you really have to rely on your team to take the attention from the enemy, so that you have enough time to aim and fire without being destroyed. Because after all, you have to remember that this tank has no armor. This is one of the lightest armor tanks that I've ever played. Basically a tin can. The Object 906 has a better armor than this thing, so yeah, that tells a lot. That does tell a lot indeed. Or you manage to hit the gunner or the loader or the main gun on the enemy tank, and then you can afford to peek around the corner and basically shoot. Although again, machine guns can penetrate you, so you have to be very careful with how are you peeking around the corner and with how are you shooting. Basically peek on the corner, fire, and go back to cover. Have to make sure that the enemy is not looking at you, of course. Okay, there is the Weasel. That's a very cute little tank. And the cute little tank got knocked out. Ammunition exploded. I somehow managed to nail the ammo on that little tank. I have to try to drive the Weasel. I think it's a very fun vehicle. We'll have to see how that works. Although also quite difficult to drive. So as you can see, this tank is very reliant on cover. You cannot run around with this thing. It has no armor. So vehicles with no armor rely on the cover, or they rely on sniping. Now this tank is a fantastic sniper. It's basically like the Leopard, although with this tank you basically cannot afford to make mistakes. This tank does not forgive mistakes. One mistake and the tank pops, so you have to really rely on cover or sniping. And there are some maps that are good with this vehicle, some maps that are not. This map, for example, is really good for for the Turm 3, because you can take advantage of this little position, and you can cover both left and right with ease. Basically, you can control the whole field with this thing, and it works really well when used properly, of course. As for the ammo, well, I leave the ammo up to your liking. I personally prefer APDS and HE ATFS, although primarily I use APDS because I trust APDS more, but the heat ammo is really good against certain targets. If you can't penetrate something with APDS, then you can switch to heat and basically penetrate everything. Since this is the exact same cannon that you have in the Leopard, so you can expect the same performance out of this gun. Now the turret rotation is also, as mentioned before, really good. This tank rotates the turret very quickly, and that makes it, you know, a bit more fun to use. It does remind me on the French autoloaders a little bit, although they have a little bit more armor. Well, armor isn't everything, but armor makes things a bit easier. However, in high tier games, armor basically is not important at all. So, yes, you usually get used to driving tanks with armor as early as possible, since later on armor basically doesn't matter much because you can penetrate everything and everything can penetrate you as well. So the Turm 3 is basically a tank that does give you a very good example of what you can expect in high tier games. Now, it's, you know, good and bad, although this tank is, I mean, I already said that this tank is quite difficult to get used to. It took me a couple games to just learn how this thing works. It is very responsive to commands, that's a good thing. It is also very quick, very maneuverable. It can drift, which is a very important thing. It is much more maneuverable than the Leopard, that's for sure. So this is basically a Leopard that's even more glass, basically, which is kind of hilarious. But it works. That was a first match, very good first match. Let's go to the next one. So, on this map, you can go on one of the sniping spots. I usually go on the right, around these rocks here, because over here you can actually put your tank in such a way that only your turret is visible, and honestly, with how little armor this thing has, any cover is good cover. So I'm not going to complain about the rocks here, because the rocks are going to keep you safe from incoming fire, and they also give you a very good tactical position. So you have to still be careful not to get hit, since again it is a good position, but this thing is not a low profile vehicle. It is quite tall, so you can't really completely cover the vehicle. You have to rely on the maneuverability a little bit, which honestly isn't a big problem. It's very easy to get used to how this thing works. And from this position you can cover the whole map. You also have a good view on the base, on the capture zone. So this thing as a sniper is working really well. Basically like a Leopard, although in some cases I would say that this tank might be a little bit better than a Leopard when it comes to firepower. After all, nothing beats a autoloader, and only 3 crew members, which, you know, although to be honest, 3 crew members means just 1 less crew member to die when this tank gets hit. After all, it has so little armor, any shell it hits is going to do a lot of damage. Now, ironically, APDS, or well, APCR ammo is not going to do much if it hits. It's going to over-penetrate, but high explosive, heat, and hash is going to cause chaos when it hits this vehicle. Very easy to just wreck the tank with high explosive. And well, those are some really 3 nasty first kills there. Like, I was busy talking here, explaining stuff, but in the video I knocked out 3 tanks. I really like the reload on this thing. It reloads so fast. It's very satisfying to keep this gun shooting as long as possible. It is a very fun vehicle to drive. The main gun is just fantastic. It's also very accurate. I mean, the accuracy on this thing is wild. The accuracy is really good. Although, you know, sometimes the snail, if the snail doesn't want you to hit, then you are not going to hit, but the overall performance of this gun is really good. I'm pretty happy with how it works so far. Makes me excited for the other autoloaders. It's also stabilized. You can move around and aim and shoot, and it's going to be very accurate as well. Although I don't recommend shooting on the move. In some cases it's good, in some cases it's bad, but this thing is stabilized and it can easily shoot on the move if necessary. Ooh, that was nasty. I mean, when I get in the zone with this game, I don't know. I have sometimes good reflexes, but when I'm in the zone, my reflexes are really good. And of course, I'm still getting used to the new device. The new device is performing really well. A Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset. That's the fastest chipset currently available, and it's fast. I mean, ray tracing and all. I have ray tracing disabled for the most part because because I can't see anything. I'm actually nowadays mostly playing the game on medium settings because the grass and all is in the way on the higher settings, and with ray tracing and everything enabled, I can't see anything. So I have the graphics on medium, just so that I can properly aim at the enemy tanks. Although the game is pretty. The game is really pretty, so no complaints about that. They did a fantastic job with the graphics. I actually thought about using ray tracing with medium, but nah, nope. I just prefer classic medium options. I can play much better that way. As for the frame rate, I have artificially lowered my frame rate a little bit, just so that my device doesn't get too warm. Now that leopard is alive. 3 hits and still alive. Maybe I should load HE-ATFS. That will probably do the job. Now this is a very awkward moment when you spend 7 shells at the enemy tank and it still moves. And that main battle tank might be oh, okay, they used the missile. Okay, good. Well then, when APDS fails, the HE-ATFS is not going to fail. Now this tank also has fantastic range. I mean, it is a fantastic sniper. It is a fantastic sniper. No complaints about the gun performance. And the mouse, unfortunately, I didn't shoot properly. I should have shot at the back of the turret. That's where the ammo is on the mouse. Kind of could have had that mouse as well, but it's fine. It's fine. Not going to complain about that. It was still a pretty solid. Oh look, there's the mouse, and right into ammo, but it survived. I killed the loader, I believe. Oh, I missed. Nope. Okay, good. Mouse killed. There's a leopard on the other side of the map, basically, and they're looking at me. It bounced leopards from... Okay, fair enough. Let's try this again. I barely see the tank. This position here is really good if you can get to it. On this map, if you are leading, then this position is fantastic since you can see everything basically. And I'm trying to hit it. Okay, there we go. Finally landed a shot at the leopard. Maybe if I used heat it would do more damage, I don't know. In any case, I hit the leopard once. Oh, and the leopard is back for more. Okay, gunner killed. I'm trying to maneuver as much as possible with this vehicle, since I know that this tank has literally no armor, so you can't really sit stationary. If you shoot, you should go back to cover and reload, if possible, of course, since again, no armor is quite tough to get used to, although you should get used to it, because in high tiers it's going to be like this all the time. Armor will be quite useless in high tiers, so I'm kind of forcing myself to get used to having no armor, although I kind of get used to it, but still, this tank has a certain charm to it. This tank has really a certain charm to it that is unique. Now, on paper, when you look at it, it looks goofy. I know this tank looks goofy for sure, but there's something about it that is satisfying. And see that bomber? Yeah, they're coming for me. Yeah, there we go. I knew that the bomber is going to come for me. There we go. As far away from the bombs as possible, since the bombs can still damage you even if they explode a bit further away, since again, no armor does that. If you have no armor, you can't afford any type of damage, including splash damage. Well, let me go back to my position here. Overall, it was a pretty solid match, honestly. Pretty solid match. Let's see if I can get a bit more kills here. I mean, I said that this tank on paper is weird for sure. He doesn't look special at all, and when you look at the non-existent armor, it definitely is off-putting to drive this vehicle. But again, I would say give the tank a chance. It is honestly a very rewarding tank when you know how to drive it, and when you get used to it, it is ridiculously fun. I'm having more fun with this vehicle than I'm having fun with the mouse. Doesn't mean the mouse is bad. The mouse has its place. I like it, but this thing is just different. There is something so satisfying about being able to just spam the shells, and the autoloader is also making things really fun. And well, we won the match, I guess. That was a good one. That was a solid match, actually. Alright, well, let's go to the next one. And ironically, we got the same map, although different game modes. And well, the objective is also... Actually, it is the same game mode, but the objective is in a different position. Well then, I'll just go to the same position, I guess, and hope for the best. Now, when the base is over there, the things are a bit different. Tanks are going to be coming head-on, so this little rock here is going to be the thing that's going to keep you from being blown up. Although still, it is a kind of a risky position, but it's the best position that you can be at, since it is a fantastic tactical position. You see everything, and you can shoot at the enemy tanks from all sides. So getting to this position as quickly as possible is definitely the way to go. And you can intercept tanks that are going to attempt to capture the base. But again, you should rely on... Oh no, it's a mouse. It's a mouse, and I missed. But you can penetrate the mouse with this main cannon. You just have to aim at the turrets and basically aim for the ammo, and you kill the mouse with ease. Because the mouse has a fantastic armor, but again, there are weak spots that you should go for, and this tank can easily just snipe the weak spots, since it has a very accurate main gun. And it's a Yak Tiger that's hiding, but that building over there is kind of in the way, so I'm not able to just aim properly at it. So I guess I'll just have to wait for it to move forwards. T-54 survived the first hits, and well, Somehow the ammo did not detonate, although I shot the ammo. Shooting at the T-54 is like 50% chance that you hit the ammo, 50% chance that the shell gets eaten by the fuel tank. That thing has a very nasty fuel tank. Well then, I hit the Yak Tiger. I'm using a PDS, trying to put the shell in the lower plate, although seems like that's not really working the way, and I got hit. I got hit in the fuel tank. Thankfully, only the fuel tank got hit and nothing else. The tank got just set on fire. This is one lucky example of taking a hit, but taking little to no damage. In some cases, having no armor is best armor. If this was a high explosive shell, however, I would have been dead. But thankfully it wasn't a high explosive shell, so it didn't really do much damage to it. Another T-54. Destroyed. A pretty good hit. Well, the first hit should have killed it, but it didn't. Because it is a T-54 and they are just troll vehicles in general, so I'm not really surprised. Alright, artillery killed someone. Perfect. One of the rare occasions where my artillery does something. Usually my artillery doesn't do anything. Because, well, I don't know. Just the way my luck works, I guess. Okay, we are at 6 kills. This is about to be kill number 7. Well, okay, that was kill number 7, and there's a bomber in the sky. I have to be careful. Oh, actually, no, that's not a bomber. That's a AMX M4. And unfortunately, that didn't do much damage. Basically, over penetrated. This is the case where I should have used heat, but I didn't have the right shell for the targets. Now I have to be careful about that M4. Although I believe my team is going to take care of that tank, but we will see what will happen. Okay, the tank is way back there behind cover, so I can't really do anything to them. At least not now, but we will see what will happen. Well, this is honestly quite the slow match so far. Oh, I almost climbed the build. Maybe I need to go forward a little bit and see if I can get some targets up ahead. Maybe this is a bad idea. Yep, it is a bad idea. Alright, there is a M4. Unfortunately, the first hit didn't kill it, and that first hit costed me the driver. Yeah, this is not a good position to be at in the field, in the open, with basically no armor. What can possibly go wrong? Yeah, this is definitely not where you want to be with this tank. Not a good position. And yep, I think I'm dead. My engine got hit, the AMX also got hit, but somehow they are alive, and well, the AMX survived the hit somehow. Even though it should have killed it, but it didn't. Oh well. Happens, I guess. I got hit in the open field. Basically, that's what happens when you have no armor in the open field. Tank gets just blown up. Although I believe we will win this match. I think the enemy team is going to run out of vehicles in a second here. But overall, it was a solid match. Can't complain, really. It was fun. Definitely was fun. Yeah, the enemy team lost all vehicles. Well, that was a very nice match as well. Got the first place. I mean, I love to drive medium tanks. I'm really good with medium tanks, so not really a big surprise that I got first place. But with that being said, that will be it for the Turm 3. Again, this thing is awesome. This tank is awesome, and definitely try to give the Turm 3 a chance, because it is a ridiculously fun to drive vehicle, and it is dangerous. This tank is dangerous as it can be. A very good maneuverability, very good speed, no armor, but excellent firepower, and it has an amazing gun. So overall, I'm definitely a fan of this tank. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.